everyone, welcome to another art related video. Today we are going to talk about my art journey, my art development. It all started in school. I feel like most of art journeys start at school. I can't even remember how old I was. I think I was a grumpy teenager in a metal phase. Not wanting to talk, not wanting to participate at a family trip. So I just sat down and drew, and that's when I realized, hey, there's potential there. But let's start from the beginning. My preferred method of art for a very long time was pencil drawings. I loved to draw portraits. I loved to draw like animals, what's it called in English? Magical creatures like dragons. And actually a dragon was the very first drawing. By the way, if you can hear my cat breathing heavily in the background, that's because A, he has a stuffed nose, and B, he's running around like a maniac and can't stop, and of course he's doing that when I start filming, like cats always do. Bless you. Okay, let's continue. A dragon was the very first animal I drew where I realized there's potential there, because it was at this said family trip. Sadly, I don't have the dragon with me. It's somewhere in my family's home, and I'm in my own apartment right now, and I, to be honest, have no idea where I can find it. But I know it's there. I just don't know where exactly. But I have my very first art sketchbook with me. Actually, I can show you when I first started making art in here. It was 2012, so I just turned 14. Oh no, I actually was 13 years old when I started, just turning 14. The sketchbook is filled with unfinished sketches. Very emo. As I said, I was a metal kid. So there was this artist, Kat Von D, who I admired back then. And she had like daily sketches, and I always tried to copy her sketches, not by tracing them, but by doing them with the picture in front of me, and I just tried to make my own version of it. So I did a lot of that. I did a lot of her prompts. Some good, some bad. Let's see where. This is a bad one. This is a creepy one, but I actually kind of like. I will insert some photos so you can see a close up. Here are some others. Very Kat Von D. Like almost the whole sketchbook is filled with Kat Von D prompts. And also when I started to see Tumblr, and I don't think Pinterest was a thing back then, or not for me, either way, but Tumblr was a big source for my art. Here are some sketches from 2012 and 13. Oh, there was a big gap there actually. Big gap, 2 months, wow. That I actually like. I always say it's Ariel, in her mermaid form and in her human form, but actually I'm not too sure. It's just two pictures I found online, and since I wasn't able to produce my own art, to produce my own motifs, I just really like to draw what I saw. Of course, in school I took art classes. They were mandatory, but I really enjoyed them. It wasn't exactly the kind of art method I liked, because like I said, I only drew with pencil. That's what I like the most. But some day we started with watercolors, and of course I knew watercolors from when I was a little child. I actually loved to draw when I was a little child. Also, all of the drawings are back in my family's place, but you know, they're little child's drawings, nothing to see there. But I also have an uncle who's an aquarelle watercolor, who's a watercolor artist, and he always inspired me. And one day I saw a picture of a Lord of the Ring artist, or like of artists who did a lot of Hobbit and Lord of the Ring paintings. I really can't remember the name, and I'm super sad about it because I loved all of their pictures. They were so beautiful. But I saw one picture of an orc that I really loved, and I started to copy it, not trace it, but have the picture for reference and doing my own. And I love the picture. I love how I started doing it, but never finished it, never. And this is an occurrence throughout this whole book. Never or hardly ever finished drawings, hardly ever. Like, there's so many drawings I never finished. Like, so sad, so sad. That was the first time I dipped into watercolor, but wasn't quite a medium for me. Didn't quite like it. Was just too difficult for me without proper instructions. I think watercolor is something where you have to have an instructor, someone to teach you, or else it will, I don't know, it's just very difficult for me actually. Just remember, there's a sketchbook missing that I have to get later on, because I again tried watercolors, but that's for later. Then I had a very big down phase with my art. Like, I stopped drawing completely. I'm a very inspiration-driven person, and if I don't have inspiration at all, I don't do it. I don't draw. I don't write. I just don't do it because I need to have inspiration, and I can't just sit down and do something. If I try it, it will be horrible. Like, I feel horrible doing it, and it will also look horrible. Because art shows emotions of the artist. That's my philosophy. So yeah, not something that I really liked doing. I didn't. There's some saying, motivation follows action, but it's really difficult for me to actually do something without motivation. Yeah, okay, but inspiration, like, can't do it. So there was a very, very big gap of several years. Like, I really completely stopped drawing for several years. I stopped when I was around 16, 17 years old. Didn't pick up a pen for when I started studying at university. But then when I started studying, I realized I want to be creative again. I really missed being creative. I stopped writing, I stopped drawing. There was no creative outlet for me anymore, and I'm a very creative person. So I really needed to do something for myself. So I tried to pick up the pencil again, and I think the first try was 2020. I tried making portraits again. There's a portrait. It's very simple. Also saw it on Pinterest. Tried to do it on my own. I think it turned out rather nice. Actually, really like it. But then I tried to do more because, of course, there's one good drawing. I want to do more good drawings, and I failed miserably. That's the only other thing I tried. Horrible. I don't even know. I think that should be a chin. Not sure. Stopped again. Completely stopped again. So that's that. And it took me several years again to pick up the pen and try drawing again. And now is the time where I need my sketchbook that I don't have with me. So please bear with me while I get it. I'm back. So while I flipped through this new sketchbook, I realized I actually got watercolor lessons from my uncle. Like I told you, he's an artist. He's a watercolor or aquarelle artist. Aquarelle? I think it's aquarelle. It sounds good. In German, it's aquarelle. Aquarelle. So I think it's aquarelle. Watercolor. And he gave me a lesson one time, and I was eager to learn it, to become as good as him. But as with everything, inspiration stopped coming in, and so I stopped drawing. And the last time I did watercolor was 2016. So when I was 18 years old, completely stopped again, which is very sad actually. Very sad about it. Because I think if I never stopped, if I just practiced and practiced and practiced, maybe there would have been some improvement. Maybe I could be a watercolor artist now, because I love watercolor painting so much. Just not something I can do yet. Never say never. I can't do yet. Oh, bless you, my cat. As I already said, he has a stuffed nose. Oh no. That's my cat sneezing. He's a former street cat, so he has his issues. Nothing we can't handle, but I have to clean his issues now. And here is the little troublemaker who wants to do a lot of trouble right now. Okay. So, as I said, completely stopped doing art again. And then, was it last year? Let's take a look at my sketchbook. I think it was last year where I tried to do art again after a 2-year break, and I got he's going to fall down. I got some watercolor pencils. I don't know if you know them. They're love them. They are normal pencils, but if you put a water on with a brush, they turn into watercolors, and you can actually make some very good art with it. And I discovered them for myself. So I thought if I can't do watercolors the normal way, then maybe I will start it this way. And so I tried doing my things. Like for example, which came first? Oh, they're only a few days apart. So I think this was the first, where I first tried doing making art with those watercolor pencils. Oh, your claws are really hurting me, Danny. His name is Danny, by the way. So, and I actually kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed the process. It's something. It was a combination of things I could do. It was normal pencils, but I also could mix the colors very prettily with water. So I really enjoyed it. So a few days later, because I was inspired, finally inspired again. Oh, best feeling in the world. A few days later, I drew one of the things I love to draw the most. Trees. Love drawing trees. Never stop loving. Ow! It's hurting me. Never stop loving drawing trees. And a few days later again, I drew something my boyfriend always wants me to draw, which is mountains. So I started experimenting drawing more landscapes. This is this year, 2023. So I tried making more with the watercolor pencils that I had. Eventually I switched back to normal watercolors. I think this is a mixture of watercolor pencils and normal watercolors. But I don't know. I never really got into it. I really tried my best. Never really got into it. But in the meantime, what I discovered in the meantime in 2023 are the 2022 going on to 2023 were fine liners. I think that's what they called. And so I started drawing architecture with them. I started drawing people. I started drawing portraits again. So let's do it chronically. When I was in winter of 2022, actually, wow, I really can't with numbers. In winter of 2022, I started drawing one of my favorite poets, Edgar Allan Poe. Love him. And this is drawn with fine line pens. Again, think what they're called, not too sure about it. And I started making a series of it. This is H.P. Lovecraft. Not my best work. I really don't like what his face looks like, but I like the frame. I like the tentacles. Very good. And I also started doing something that I did as a child again. Not as a child, as a teenager. Drawing with ink. And this is a frame for Goethe. I actually intend to draw Goethe in here. The spaces for him. Still didn't get around to do it, but it's actually a series that I want to start, or that I started. I want to draw Edgar Allan Poe, H.P. Lovecraft, Goethe, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, and Franz Kafka, my favorite 4 authors. There are some more, like Bram Stoker, Dracula, Mary Shelley, Frankenstein. So there will be more in there, but this is something I started doing in 2022. And I continued doing it with architecture. This is a mixture of fine line and watercolor. Thought it looked cool, still think it looked cool. I actually really like it. It's just a quick sketch I did in the living room. But I really like it, really enjoy it. Then in 2023, I started with an art project. I got this beautiful book from a friend once and never used it really. And one day in 2020, I think it was 2022, I looked at it and thought, would be perfect for an art project, a grimoire or something like a grimoire, like a book found in the Middle Age, where there are like spooky, like very spooky artworks and poems and stories in there. And it should look like it's from the Middle Ages, from maybe a witch, I don't know yet, it's not very full, I can show it to you. It's like my favorite quote from Goethe. A story in Latin and dragons. Love it. The story is about dragons. And a story I wrote and a little gargoyle. Not very good actually. Something now we're coming to the interesting part, because I found my medium of that brings me the most joy. In school we did linocuts. I think everyone did them in school, like very uninspired linocuts, just for the sake of doing it. But I realized that's something I really enjoyed in school. I really liked those. I liked the process of it, I liked the outcome, everything. It was one of my most favorite things to do in school. And so I remembered the times, and it was around Christmas, and my aunt asked me what I want to have for Christmas. And so I said, a linocutting kit for starting it again at home. And so she gifted it to me, and was the beginning of, I know that's kind of cheesy right now, but it was the beginning of something beautiful, because I finally felt inspired again. I finally felt like I really, really want to do art again. And so I did my very, very first linocut of mushrooms. Don't ask me why. I really don't know why mushrooms, but I thought it would be a good idea. And so I tried it, and I enjoyed it so much. The whole process, I enjoyed it so much. Really, it was amazing. I enjoyed making the sketch. I enjoyed transferring it to the lino plate. The cutting, it was amazing. And then the printmaking, the whole process. Really, I enjoyed it so much. For the first time, I had this rush again. The rush when you do nice art. It was amazing, really was amazing. But because I study law and work on the side for very little hours a week, but still I work on the side, I had many uninspired phases again. I had to do a lot of studying, so I stopped again. I stopped with the linocuts, very sad. Stopped with the grimoire. Tried something different, because on said Christmas Eve, I also got gouache. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly. I think it's gouache. And so I started doing gouache, because I thought if I can't do watercolors, maybe gouache is my thing. Turns out it's not. I made two paintings I really enjoyed. One I don't have with me, I gifted it to a friend. And the other I have here with me. But I will insert a picture of the one I gifted to my friend. And this is another picture I really quite like. Just some sunflowers and a hair. But yeah, I stopped doing it after those two because I don't know, the process, it was so tedious. I don't know, I really didn't enjoy it. It's very difficult again. It's very difficult to learn on one's own. I watched some YouTube tutorials, but I don't know, never really got the hang of it. Which doesn't mean that I stopped doing it forever. I want to pick up the brush again and try it again because I don't want to quit. But it's just not something I enjoy right at the moment. And if I don't enjoy it, now is not the time to do it. Simple as that. Then Halloween of 2023 came around, not turned around. And I had the idea of, I was reading Frankenstein at the moment, and I thought, I really want to do a lino print of Frankenstein. And so I did it. And it's a lino cut that I'm very proud of. I really enjoyed it again. I really enjoyed it, and I'm so proud of it. And I think it turned out great. I really think it turned out great. And so another art idea, another art project was established again, of doing many lino cut prints of horror figures like Ghostface from the movie Scream. Because it was Halloween, I love Halloween so much. I love everything to do with Halloween. So I thought, why not do Ghostface? Because I was watching Scream at the time. Really, really enjoyed the first movie. Really good movie. So yeah, I did that again. And the idea is to continue. I know it's not Halloween anymore, it's Christmas, it's the New Year, many occasions to celebrate, but I still want to do Halloween stuff because I'm a all-year Halloween kind of girl. So the idea is to maybe continue with the Nun, with Alien from the movie Alien, with the Demigorgon, I think it's called, from Stranger Things, and so on and so forth. I have many ideas, I just have to do it. And the last lino cut I did, because again I only started doing them this year, so I only have 4 prints right now, 4 projects, was the one I filmed in my last video. It was the dolphins for my aunts. And since I showed you, I'm used to doing monsters, I'm used to doing weird mushrooms. That's all things that don't have to be pretty. If they're not pretty, if they have some defects, it's okay, because you know they're monsters. They're not meant to be perfect. But the print from my aunt has to be perfect. And I really struggled with this one. I really struggled with this one, because dolphins are beautiful creatures, and I really wanted to make it like a happy print, like something you look at and think, oh, beautiful, really nice. Because as I mentioned in my last video, they're the spirit animals of my aunt, and so I really wanted her to feel connected to the picture. Kind of struggled there. Not my best work. It's okay. I think it's something I'm not sure yet if I can give it to her, but for the first try it's okay. I really like the waves. I really like the waves. I think they turn out beautiful. I really like the bigger dolphin. I think he is beautiful too. But yeah, I don't know. Not my favorite project yet. But I already did it yesterday. So on the day before filming this. So there's still enough time before Christmas to make another print, to make another few test rounds, and to create something that I feel good of gifting to her. And so yeah, that's the last print I was doing. And that's it with my art journey. Again, I feel very inspired to continue. I don't want to quit making art for another few years now. I'm really motivated to continue to become better at the technique. And yeah, overall, just make a lot of fun art. And that's the plan for the future. That's the plan for this channel, to first of all, to have more motivation to not stop doing art. Because if I have a channel, if I create videos, then maybe there is more of not pressure, because I never make art under pressure, but for a lack of a better word, let's say pressure. I have more pressure to continue. But also because in a few years, when I hopefully never stopped doing art, when I hopefully became a lot better at lino printing and maybe gouache, maybe even watercolor, who knows, I want to look back and be able to see where it all started, and see the progress of my learning, my art. Yeah, that's the plan. And so I really hope you come along on this journey. I really hope you enjoy the art. If not, if you have any, I don't know, inspirations for me, if you have any tips, anything at all, I'm very happy to hear about it. Write them in the comments if you like. Wow, write them in the comments. First time I said this, feels very weird. I have to say that. But yeah, I hope you come along on this journey, and I really hope you enjoyed the history of my art making process until now. And thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye! Say bye! Bye! Okay, sorry then. Sorry, very sorry. Oh!